Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 25. Narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's apostle, was asked, "What is the best deed?" He replied, "To believe in Allah and his apostle Muhammad." The questioner then asked, "What is the next in goodness?" He replied, "To participate in jihad, religious fighting in Allah's cause." The questioner again asked, "What is the next in goodness?" He replied, "To perform Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca, Mabrur, accepted by Allah, performed sincerely for his pleasure only, not to show off without committing a sin, and in accordance with the traditions of the Prophet." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 26, narrated Sa'd, Allah's apostle distributed zakat among a group of people while I was sitting there, but Allah's apostle left a man whom I thought the best of the lot. I asked, "O Allah's apostle, why have you left that person? By Allah, I regard him as a faithful believer." The Prophet commented, "Or merely a Muslim, one who submits to Allah." I remained quiet for a while, but could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. Then the Prophet said, "O Sa'd, I give to a person while another is dearer to me, for fear that he might be thrown on his face in the fire by Allah." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 27, narrated Abdullah bin Amr, a person asked Allah's apostle, "What sort of deeds in or what qualities of Islam are good?" He replied, "To feed the poor and greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 28, narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, "I was shown the hellfire and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful." It was asked, "Do they disbelieve in Allah?" He replied, "They are ungrateful to their husbands and are ungrateful for the favors and the good, charitable deeds done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent to one of them, and then she sees something in her liking, she will say, 'I have never received any good from you.'" Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 29, narrated Al-Marur. At our Rabada, I met Abu Dar, who was wearing a cloak, and his slave, too, was wearing a similar one. I asked about the reason for it. He replied, "I abused a person by calling his mother with bad names." The Prophet said to me, "O Abu Dar, did you abuse him by calling his mother with bad names? You still have some characteristics of ignorance, wrong or unwise behavior. Your slaves are your brothers, and Allah has put them under your command. So whoever has a brother under his command should feed him of what he eats and dress him of what he wears. Do not ask them, slaves, to do things beyond their capacity, power, and if you do so, then help them." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 30. Narrated Al-Ahnaf bin Qais. While I was going to help this man, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abu Bakr met me and asked, "Where are you going?" I replied, "I am going to help that person." He said, "Go back, for I have heard Allah's apostle saying, when two Muslims fight, meet each other with their swords, both the murderer as well as the murdered will go to the hellfire." I said, "O Allah's apostle, it is all right for the murderer, but what about the murdered one?" Allah's apostle replied, "He surely had the intention to kill his companion." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 31, narrated Abdullah, when the following verse was revealed, "It is those who believe and confuse not their belief with wrong, worshipping others besides Allah." 683. The companions of Allah's apostle asked, "Who is among us who had not done injustice, wrong?" Allah revealed, "No doubt, joining others in worship with Allah is a great injustice, wrong indeed." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 32, narrated Abu Huraira, the Prophet said, "The signs of a hypocrite are three. 1. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 2. Whenever he promises, he always breaks it, his promise. 3. If you trust him, he proves to be dishonest. If you keep something as a trust with him, he will not return it." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 33, narrated Abdullah bin Amr, the Prophet said, "Whoever has the following four characteristics will be a pure hypocrite, and whoever has one of the following four characteristics will have one characteristic of hypocrisy, unless and until he gives it up. 1. Whenever he is entrusted, he betrays. 2. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 3. Whenever he makes a covenant, he proves treacherous. 4. Whenever he quarrels, he behaves in a very imprudent, unwise, evil, and insulting manner." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 34. Narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's apostle said, "Whoever establishes the prayers on the night of Qadr, special night in Ramadan, out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not to show off, then all his past sins will be forgiven." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 35. narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "The person who participates in holy battles in Allah's cause and nothing compels him to do so except belief in Allah and His Apostle will be recompensed by Allah either with a reward or booty if he survives, or will be admitted to paradise if he is killed in the battle as a martyr. Had I not found it difficult for my followers, then I would not remain behind any Sariya going for jihad, and I would have loved to be martyred in Allah's cause, and then made alive, and then martyred, and then made alive, and then made alive, and then again martyred in His cause." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 36, narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever establishes prayers during the nights of Ramadan faithfully out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not for showing off, all his past sins will be forgiven." Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 37, Abu Huraira. Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever observes fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, then all his past sins will be forgiven." Here's the breakdown, Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 25. Hadith: the best deeds are belief in Allah and His Apostle, Muhammad, peace be upon him, then participating in jihad, then performing Hajj Mabrur, accepted by Allah, done sincerely. Explanation: faith and devotion come first, followed by struggle for Allah's cause, and sincere worship like Hajj that is free of show or sin is highly rewarded. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 26. Hadith: Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave zakat to people, leaving some whom he preferred, explaining it was out of fear they might be punished in the fire. Explanation: sometimes Allah's wisdom guides distribution of charity, prioritizing spiritual safety over worldly judgment. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 27. Good deeds include feeding the poor and greeting everyone. Explanation: simple acts of kindness and social interaction are highly valued in Islam. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 28. Hadith: majority of hell's dwellers are women who are ungrateful to their husbands or for favors received. Explanation: gratitude and humility are essential. Ungratefulness is considered a form of injustice. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 29. Hadith: Abu Dhar was advised to treat his slaves kindly, feed them what he eats, dress them as he dresses, and not ask beyond their capacity. Explanation: Islam teaches justice, compassion, and humane treatment toward those under one's authority. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 30. Hadith: if two Muslims fight with swords, both murderer and murdered go to hell. Intention matters. Explanation: intentions and actions are crucial in Islamic law. Even if harmed, the victim may bear accountability if intending evil. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 31. Hadith: joining others in worship with Allah is a great injustice. Explanation: shirk, associating partners with Allah, is the gravest injustice. Pure monotheism is essential. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 32. Hadith: signs of a hypocrite, lying, breaking promises, and being dishonest in trust. Explanation: Islam emphasizes truthfulness, trustworthiness, and integrity. Failing these traits shows hypocrisy. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 33. Hadith: four characteristics of a hypocrite: betraying trust, lying, treachery in covenants, quarrelsome, unwise behavior. Explanation: moral and ethical conduct defines sincerity and faith. Neglecting these traits is a sign of hypocrisy. Chashad, Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 34. Hadith: prayers on the night of Qadr, done sincerely, forgive past sins. Explanation: worship with sincerity brings immense reward. The night of Qadr is particularly blessed. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 35. Hadith: participation in jihad for Allah's cause brings reward, booty, or paradise if martyred. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would join if not for the difficulty on followers. Explanation: sacrifice and struggle for Allah are highly rewarded, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, led by example. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 36. Hadith: night prayers in Ramadan, done sincerely, forgive past sins. Explanation: acts of worship during blessed nights carry forgiveness and spiritual elevation. Volume 1, Book 2, Hadith 37. Hadith: fasting in Ramadan with sincere faith and hope for Allah's reward forgives past sins. Explanation: sincere fasting is a powerful act of purification and draws Allah's mercy.